So let's start what comes in the box for your new QuickView Air HD. On the left, you'll see the bipod, which is used for stabilization of the system. In the middle is the case that houses all the equipment. And then you have the pole that comes standard with the system, which will extend up to 24 feet. A couple optional items that you can order from us would be a tablet, which is used to record and document. And then also there's an optional 6-foot extension pole back here, so you can get up to depths of 30 feet. So let's go over what comes in your case. Starting over here at the left is your charger for the 110. This is what you actually plug into the wall. The actual charger itself is this little guy right here. And we'll go over that here in a little bit. Obviously your camera tucked in here, the main component of the system. And then these two circles right here are the batteries, which are interchangeable. And they just lift right out of the case. And then there's a slot here that you can store a tablet. Again, you can buy this from us or you can supply your own. Last but not least, up here in the top of the lid is an owner's manual. So if you forget anything you learned today, you can always refer to it. So let's start with how you charge the batteries. So you're going to take a battery out of the case, and on the top of it, there is an indicator that shows the amount of life inside of the battery. Each battery has that, so you can see the indication of how much charge the battery has. So we'll take the battery that has the lowest amount of charge and simply take off this protective cap, which exposes this area here. And then we'll take our battery charger that was in this spot over here, the bottom left. And then we'll take the cap here off of it and expose that. And then it's very simple. We just screw this into the end of the battery, like so. So now our charging component is installed on the battery. Then we would simply get our charger out of the bag here, plug this end into the battery, plug this in, and then simply plug this into the wall. Once your battery is charged, just simply unscrew the charging mechanism off of the battery, replace the cap, and set it back in your case for the next time. Now let's install the battery on the QuickView camera. So we're going to pull it out of the case, and you always want to be careful with your Wi-Fi antenna on the back side of the camera when you're pulling it out of the case. So as you can see on the top of the QuickView camera head, there is a black protective cap, so we're just going to simply remove that, set it aside. We're going to grab a battery out of the case, and then we're going to screw it onto the top of the QuickView. Now at this point, I usually go ahead and turn the QuickView camera on, which will allow it to go through its startup process. So I'll go ahead and do that by pressing this circle down here, and you can see that it is blinking green, which is indicating it's going through its startup process. Once the green circle goes to a solid green and is not blinking, that means the QuickView is now ready to be connected to the tablet. So now I'm going to show you how to hook the QuickView to the actual pole itself. Easiest way I found is to lay the setup as you're seeing it right now. And the key is to make sure your Wi-Fi antenna goes down and behind the standoff. So you're just simply going to get the QuickView started in the bottom of the pole and simply press it into place till you hear that click. Now let's talk about the positioning standoff rod on the back of the pole, which allows you to center the camera inside of different size pipes. So it is a spring-loaded apparatus. The way to release it is you want to press it till it goes all the way down, and then you'll see that it ratchets up like so. And then you would go lower down in the pipe and then just adjust it down as needed. And this is what you use to center it inside of the pipe. Now be careful, if you go all the way down to the lowest position, it's going to release and come back up. When the pole is folded in half, you have about 6 foot of height. So to unfold, to get to the 12-foot mark, you would simply press the button at the top of the pole here, and that releases the hinge. So you can see that would open up. Once it goes back, it automatically locks in place. To extend the pole, to retrieve the inner portions, you're simply going to press down on the collars, and the pole will slide out to its full extended position, and then it would lock in place. So with the standard pole, you can get to depths of 24 feet. The bipod has adjustable feet. These buttons on the top of the bipod allow you to adjust the legs. So by pressing the button, you can see that this leg will drop down. And you can adjust this up and down anytime you're holding the button. So that allows you to adjust for uneven surfaces. To install the bipod on the pole, you're simply going to flip open this connection here, and you're going to bring it over to the pole that's already lowered in the ground and lined up in the sewer. And you're simply going to clamp it in place. And then adjust your standoff. And now, as you can see, the QuickView is staying by itself. The rest of the training is going to be dedicated to the app and the operations of the system. So somewhere on your tablet, you should have the SewerLink installed. So we're going to click on it. As you can see, your QuickView Air HD should pop up and the serial number shown. There's two methods to connect to this app. There's the connect and then the connect view only. So if you're going to control this QuickView, you would want to click on the connect. So now we have our live image. So we'll start going over this app with the basic functions that you will use the most. On the left side of the screen over here is your light control, and it is controlled by a slider bar that slides up and down. So you can see the light got super bright and turned off. So that's how you control your light brightness. On the right side of the screen, you have your zooming functions in the center, and then you have your automated control of your camera tilt on the top and bottom. So if we wanted to tilt the camera head down, we would use this bottom arrow, and you can see that image is now pointing down. If we wanted to tilt the camera head up, we would simply press this very top arrow, and now you can see the image is pointing up. So you're going to use this up and down to fine-tune the camera alignment for optimal zooming. These center arrows over here are what make the camera zoom. So the top one is going to make the camera zoom in. The bottom one will bring the zoom back. The other basic function you may use frequently would be the focus, which is in the top left corner over here. As you can see, the letters A, F are now illuminated, which lets you know that the camera is in autofocus mode. You can manually focus the camera by using the plus and minus. So each time you click the plus, it's going to manually focus. Each time you click the minus, it's going to manually focus the other way. To put it back in autofocus, simply hit the AF, and now the autofocus is back illuminated. Now that you know how to turn on the lights, move the camera head up and down, zoom, and adjust the focus, the next thing you may want to do is to record video or take pictures. And that is done in this area right here. So the icon that looks like a video camera, that's what starts, pauses, and stops our video recording. So by pressing it once, it's going to ask you where you want to store the video you're about to record. So you can select from a previous recording that you've already had, or you can select the bottom left corner, a new folder, and title where you want this video to go. That allows you to keep track of your inspections by titling the folders. I have already created a folder titled training, so I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to hit OK down here in the bottom right corner. So now, as you can see, this video camera icon is now blinking red, which tells me I'm recording live video. So I'll move the camera head down just so we have some movement, and then I'll zoom the camera head in, zoom the camera head back. And if I wanted to take a picture, I could come over here to the icon next to the blinking red light, which looks like a camera, and click it. And again, it's going to ask where you want to save it. So I'm going to save it in that same training folder. Hit OK. And now that photo is saved. To stop the recording, we would hit the box. To pause it, we would hit the pause symbol. Now if we pause it, you can see that both the record and the pause light are blinking. So at this time, you could take a phone call, or do anything you needed to do without ending the video file. To resume recording after you pause, you simply can hit the pause button and it'll just go back to normal recording. When you're finished recording, you simply click the box, which stands for stop, and now that video is saved. So now let's talk about the other on-screen buttons that we have. We're going to skip this X because it closes out of the app. The icon next to the X gives you the full screen, which removes all the buttons. So if you really want a good look at the picture, that's the button you would click. To bring back all your buttons, you simply press that same button again. We've already went over the camera and the recording. The next button in that area is for your video settings. So if you click on it, it gives you some options. I would suggest just leaving this alone. The only thing you may want to adjust in here would be to change it from 720p to 1080p. To get out of this menu, simply click the same button again. Moving on to the next area, the button here that has the play symbol looks like some boxes. We'll click it. And what that is, that's a gallery browser. So that brings up everything that you have recorded within this project so you can review it on site. To get back out of it, we're just going to simply click the X and go back to our live image. Now we're going to move on to the on-screen text functions, which are these buttons here. So as you can see right now, I'm going to get rid of all the buttons. You can see there's no text on the screen right now. This button right here allows you to turn the text on and off that you have pre-programmed, which we'll go over here in a minute. So if I wanted to bring that on-screen text, I would click this button, the app will refresh. Now I'll give you the full screen, and now you can see all the text that's displayed on the screen. So to edit the text that's on the screen, that's when you're going to go to this button here that has the little gear or the settings wheel. So we're going to touch it, and you can see all the options that we have available to us. Anything over here that's checked will be displayed on the screen. So if you want to clean up your image, we can uncheck a lot of these. We'll leave the date and time on. And then I'll hit apply. And now you can see that we cleaned a lot of that text off the screen. So if you want to edit the text on the screen, if you want to type in an address, a manhole number, or any other information that you would like to be seen on your video and pictures, you're simply going to go back to your text settings. Over here on the right side are the 3 lines that you can edit. So let's say we wanted to title this video or have on-screen text saying our manholes. So we'll say manhole 1, 2, 3, and then we could type 12-inch pipe, and then we would type downstream, looking downstream. Hit done, apply. So now you can see manhole 1, 2, 3, 12-inch, spelled pipes wrong, but okay, looking downstream. Down in the bottom left-hand corner next to the light bar is an important button. If you ever see this triangle blinking, that means that the camera head is low on pressure. Along the top of the screen, you'll have the signal from the camera head to the app. So if you get too far away, this signal will start to decrease. This light orange bar is the percentage of light that you have cranked on. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but that percentage number changes. And also when you're zooming, this center area shows the amount of zoom that you have in place. Then the third bar shows the angle of the camera head. So if I adjust it up, that number is changing. The other icons along the top here are the battery life of the tablet and then the battery life that's on the camera. And lastly, if you do click the X, it'll give you a message asking you if you want to switch the camera head up upon disconnect. If you're ready and you're done, just simply click the yes, and the camera head shuts off and the app closes itself. And then you simply click the X again to get out of the app. Okay, so now we're going to remove the QuickView from the pole. This black area down here is the latch that allows us to remove QuickView from the pole. So I'm simply just going to put my foot under here to support the weight of the camera, and I'm going to lift up on that latch, and then the camera will just simply drop out. Next, to uninstall the battery, you're just simply going to unscrew it off of the QuickView. Now we're ready to put everything back in the box. To release the bipod from the pole, just simply come over here to the right side, Flip this open and that releases. Set our pole aside. Then again, to collapse, press the 2 buttons on top of the bipod and that collapses down. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions, please reach out to your local support.